Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am in my gaming chair because I'm currently diamond painting and I don't feel like moving over to the other side of the room, so here I am. I am going to just call this a mental health check-in video. Now, I've been thinking about doing this for about 2 weeks now because I've made maybe 3 videos on this channel. I'm going to zip over to my channel dashboard. I think this would be my 3rd one or 4th one. And I should be able to search my channel. And I think if I simply type in the word mental, we can find out. It looks like I did a mental health chat. Yes, this would be the 4th one. Okay, now I can put my phone down. Of course, I triggered Siri. Okay, so why am I making this video? Well, I am on day 3 of little to no sleep. In fact, the bags under my eyes are pretty brutal. So that's only going to spiral me into a manic phase. After I make this video, I think I'm gonna go put the Bible on and just listen to it until I fall asleep. Or put the TV on. I don't know. I'm gonna do something to try to relax myself enough to go to sleep. Because if I don't, it's only gonna get ugly. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is triggers and trauma, and also the stigma of mental health. Now, as an educated person, as far as being an avid reader, an erudite, or a nerd, you would think that I would have research and notes in front of me. But if you're a regular watcher of this channel, you know that I do not work without notes. Every now and again, I may make a list like this. Like if I'm going to talk about a lot of books, I may list all the books and the authors, so I get that right. Other than that, nah, I don't do notes. And so I don't have notes on this. I just want to tell you my thoughts. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is trauma. Due to trauma, childhood trauma, I have bipolar disorder, PTSD, depression, and anxiety. With my bipolar disorder, the symptoms that I deal with more than any of them is the low lows that come with depression. Now, I do get phases of mania because I can tell when I'm overexcited, I talk too much, I talk too fast, and I do too much. Now, a manic person that is a healthier person may shop a lot, they may go out a lot, they may engage in a lot of activities. But I am a homebody and I am mostly homebound, so my mania is, I just do a gazillion things. Like with this insomnia phase, I am reading book 22 of the month and it's only the 9th. So you can tell that, my mania is coming in. That is part of my bipolar disorder. Then if we talk, I know I said I was going to talk about trauma and I jumped off. See, there we go. Then there is the manic part where, like I mentioned, you do too much and there's a bit of imbalance. What triggers that with me is that trauma, that childhood trauma. But that childhood trauma is triggered by something. And I had to try to understand, my planner's way over there. I was going to get my planner because I do have my notes from my therapy sessions. I keep dipping into a depression and jumping back out, and dipping into a depression and jumping back out. And I was trying to figure out, and also I have really, 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 really horrid night terrors. I mean, horrid night terrors. Night terrors to the point where I'm screaming and I wake up my household. Okay? And the more I dip into those really bad lows, the more the night terrors increase. And even though the medication I take from those night terrors is called Fazocin, started off at 1 milligram, went to 2 milligrams, went to 3 milligrams. Now it's 4 milligrams at night and 2 milligrams during the day. So 6 milligrams of Fazocin, and I'm still having these night terrors. I only have them at this level when I'm triggered. So I want to talk about the trigger. Okay, so just to make a little outline: trauma, triggers, bipolar, and stigmatism. What triggered me was I am a hobbyist, a crafter, whatever you want to call me, in addition to being a book reviewer, blogger, and so forth. And I wanted to engage in I think it's a biannual 24 hours of cross stitch, and that is run by a big Facebook group, probably thousands of subscribers, followers, or whatever, however you say it on Facebook. Yeah, I did grab my phone again, because if I'm going to do anything with facts, I don't want to misquote facts. But if I were to look up 24 hours of cross stitch, okay, 4,000 members. That's a big cross stitch group that is run by people that I have never met and will never meet. And I would imagine, if I look at the members, the admins and moderators, I don't know who these people are. They're strangers to me. So I can engage in this and enjoy it, and sit down on Friday, say at 6 p.m., and stitch throughout the weekend, so that by Sunday night I will have stitched 24 hours in a 72-hour period. Well, what triggered me was, back at the end of January, I was removed from a Zoom environment. And I've talked about that on this channel, and it's time to talk about it again. Because even though I've been away from that environment for 7 or 8 months, and yes, I should be over it, but stages of grief, there's this grief from loss. Well, I was trying to hang on to some part of the community members that are attached to that environment, and I was at a live stream, and everybody was all excited about this 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. Well, in that 24-hour cross-stitch weekend discussion, there was this camaraderie that was like, let's say the camaraderie was over here, and it had all of these people. I was over here all by myself, and they were all over here, and I was all over there. This was, I think, the Wednesday or Thursday before this 24 hours of cross-stitch was about to happen. And I allowed that to trigger me. So much so that I tried to stitch, I think on my, I don't even remember, I think my Carolyn Manning. And I found that when I was working on that Carolyn Manning cross stitch, I don't know what he gave me. He threw something on my chair. I frogged and frogged. I frogged and stitched and frogged and stitched and frogged and stitched. I could not stitch on that pattern. I couldn't do it. I had been triggered, but I didn't realize at that point why I couldn't stitch. So I gave up, and I came over here to my diamond painting table, which is right to my right. And I diamond painting. I think I was working on a Chuck Pinson, and I spent the whole day on it, all day Friday into Saturday. Sat down with that Carolyn Manning project again, frog, and then realized that I could not participate in that 24-hour cross-stitch pattern a weekend because I was triggered. And I started to have my depression again, the depression that I had just gotten out of. I mean, I got depressed back in June, was depressed all through June, and then by the second week of July, I was finally out of that depression, and then I got triggered. And I wanted to talk about that because what it was, And it wasn't until I talked to my therapist yesterday that I recognized what happened. What happened basically is the individuals that were in that Zoom community are individuals that I can't associate with without being triggered, because I will never be included with them. And even though they're not running the 24 hours across stitch, they have their own subset or a subgroup of it, and they were excited about it. And they have every right to be excited about it. Why not? It's a fun thing to do with a group of people. And so I was talking to my therapist yesterday, and he, of course, he always asks about my physical health, because I did miss my therapy appointment last Monday because I had surgery the Thursday before, and with the incisions, I was in bed. So he asks about my physical health, but as always, as part of his job, he asks about my mental health. And I said, Mark, I don't know. I'm having these emotional dips, but there's nothing going on. My life is okay. I'm busy. My channel's busy. My blog is busy. I'm reading up a storm. I'm about to go on vacation. And he's like, no. What about your night terrors? I said, they're off the charts. There's no whatever. So he wants to know what my trigger was. Light bulb moment. It was, there's a pool of water that involves this group of people, and I kept dipping my toe in. And every time I dipped my toe in, I felt excluded. But I didn't realize that. And you know what he said? He says, think about your childhood, Robin. Your mother moved countless times. Your mother left you countless times. You went to countless schools, grade schools, junior high schools, high schools. And what happened when you moved, or your mother left you here, there, and everywhere? You never were part of a group. You were always trying to fit in. And now we're doing this by video chat, and he sees my affect change. I don't see it, but he sees it through the screen of the video cameras. And he says, are you having a flashback? I don't know. I know he's a professional, but yes, I was. A flashback to when I was 13 years old. And that's why I have the insomnia now. And when I do fall asleep, I have the night terrors. So I told him, I said, well, from that day, and I did check my planner, and I checked my calendar, and I went to the Facebook group to see what the date of the weekend was, and it was around the 20th or 21st of July. And I said, well, you know what, Mark? I haven't been back to the groups of people that I was excluded from back at the end of January, but I still can't let myself get past these feelings, and I keep getting these emotional drops. And he goes, what do these emotional drops feel like? I said, they feel like sadness. I feel really sad. But I'm not sad. I'm happy. I'm babysitting. I'm around the grandkids. I'm doing video chats. I'm on the phone with my daughters. But then I'm sad. And then I read a great book, and I make all these videos. I mean, you watch this channel, video after video after video after video. I'm posting everywhere, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok. And I'm smiling and I'm laughing, but then I'm sad. And then I'm in a different group of people, because there's a diamond painting event going on. And a discussion takes place that I catch the tail end of, and it's about mental health, and it's about the stigma of mental health. And I said, it's so funny that you guys are talking about this, because I've been marinating an idea of making a video talking about trauma and triggers, and now with this new insomnia phase that I'm experiencing and these increase of night terrors, and you're having this discussion, what is your feeling on that? And the thing that I wanted to say in this video is I have, first of all, I want to say no beef with anybody, with what happened to me in Zoom and all that. That doesn't exist. But that feeling of being left out, that FOMO, fear of missing out, somehow or another, in the course of talking to my therapist, I had this flashback to when I was 13, 14 years old, because I was going from school to school to school to school. Now, the funny thing is, I'm just going to say this really quickly, even though I went to gazillion schools, I graduated with the highest possible grades. I never got less than 100% on any test. I never got less than an A or an E, because like going through elementary school in Boston, E was for excellence. So it didn't have the grades that the schools use these days. But I had a perfect education despite many transfers. But I just want to throw that in. So I'm having this flashback when I'm talking to Mark, and I'm not sleeping, because if I fall asleep I have night terrors, so therefore I'm having insomnia. And then this group is talking about mental health, and I'm about to go on what's going to be a great vacation with my daughter and her family, including Demetrius and Olivia, and I'm excited. I should be packing. I should be I should be excited. As mentioned, making lots of videos, I'm reading lots of books, I'm writing lots of reviews, I'm very social with the reading groups that I'm in. But that trauma and triggers is something that is really ingrained in me, and it's just something that I wanted to check in. So this is just a check-in. Now, I was reading a book which was a romance, and the main character had social anxiety. Then I was reading another book, and that character had anxiety attacks. So I love that mental health representation is coming out in, mainstream books. I love that. I also love the fact that the more people that I meet, the more people that I find that craft like I do, whether it's cross-stitching, whether it's jigsaw puzzles, whether it's diamond painting, is these hobbies that we do, even reading, is a way for us to work with our mental health, to improve our mental health. And the other thing I wanted to say is, don't feel stigmatized by it. Talk to somebody. If you have a therapist, be honest with your therapist. If you have a psychiatrist, be honest with your psychiatrist. If you don't have a therapist or psychiatrist, well, on those lines, if you have medication, stay on your medication. But if you don't have a therapist and you don't have a psychiatrist, then have a trusted family member that you can talk to, a trusted friend, or if you're a religious person, somebody in your congregation. Talk to somebody. Don't feel stigmatized by bad thoughts, by sad thoughts, by hopelessness, by helplessness. Or if you're dealing with insomnia, or in a case like me where it affects my sleep pattern and my night terrors, just be open about it. Talk about it. Do things that bring you joy. Now, that cross-stitch weekend when I ended up frogging that Carolyn Manning bear tracks pattern over and over and over again, I abandoned cross-stitching until just this past weekend. I did, actually it's right here, I did do some stitching Sunday on this Maple Lane project, and I'm very happy that I'm stitching again. But I had to take a few weeks away from stitching because it wasn't bringing me joy. So, in addition to talking to somebody that you can trust, find what brings you joy and engage in what brings you joy. Don't feel stigmatized by it, and don't let it swallow you up. And the one thing that I'm not doing is I'm not trusting my family with these sad feelings, and I don't think anybody in my family watches my channel, so they won't know that I'm going through this, because I'm really good at putting on that smile, that brave face, but I just wanted to touch in with you guys with this channel because let's talk about this channel for a second. Let's just do that for just a minute. When I was involved in that group of people, I was not making videos. And I think I had something like 779 or something like that subscribers. And I don't think I made videos for 8 months or even a year. And then I got pulled out of that environment, or pushed out, really. And I started off by making videos about the situation itself and my feelings and forgiveness and sadness and all of that. And then I started making content that was positive. I was making wrap-ups. I was doing diamond painting. I was doing cross-stitching. I was doing book reviews. And I went, and I've got like 500 new subscribers since I got ousted. So it was good for me, and I just have to convince myself of that. And I want to thank all the new subscribers that watch this channel, and I want to thank all the authors that watch this channel and all the other reviewers that watch this channel. But I also want to do something else. I want to go to my channel dashboard, and I want to talk about a couple of my subscriber comments. And I want to thank my subscribers because, first of all, hundreds of comments. Even though my views are in the dozens and not the hundreds, they're in the dozens. The comments are in the huge amounts of comments, and they're mostly about my book reviews. Your reviews are good, so good. I want to read every book. Thank you so much, Robin. I love your reviews. I love your reviews, and so forth. But that's all related to my book reviews. But then I get comments like this. I'm trying to open up the whole comment. You are very smart. I wish someone talked to me when I was young enough to take part of my understanding. I admire you for your courage and your ability to understand these personal dynamics. I pray you heal completely through this experience and never take responsibility that belongs to someone else, and continue to recognize that what is your responsibility. And I think what this viewer meant by that was, I did try to take responsibility for the mistakes that I made that got me kicked out of that environment. But she's telling me not to take responsibility for other people's actions. And she says that she's further than I am with some of the mental health issues that she deals with. And she's older than I am. She's 73, I'm 61 actually. And that's just one example. About those videos that I made about my mental health journey and my honesty about my mental health issues. And I mean, I would have to really scroll down. I didn't isolate these or like print them out or anything, but I wanted to mention that even though my channel doesn't get the notoriety of a real booktuber or diamond painter or cross stitcher, it's okay, because as long as I can touch at least one person, but I'm not just touching or affecting one person, I have regular solid comments that come in, and I want to show appreciation for that. And I especially want to show appreciation for that because of the pain that I feel every day, the sadness that I feel every day. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep giving you content. Like right now, I am uploading my weekly wrap up where I think I read 17, 18 books in 6 days. So that wrap up video is rendering right now. I hope to vlog when I go on vacation. I've made a couple of cooking videos, and I would hope that my channel can continue to grow, and that these videos that I make when I'm honest about me and my pain and my reaction to situations that I've dealt with, and even to give you those little snippets of my past where I said that my mom moved a lot and left me and I went to different schools and all of that. You know, what you see when you see Robin Loves Reading and all the things on this channel is you always see the real me. Whether it's a book review, whether I'm doing a whip and chat or a stitch and chat, which I haven't done a stitch and chat in a couple of months, but you're always going to see the real me. And sometimes you're going to get videos like this. And you're never going to get videos based on an outline or notes. You're always going to get a raw and real video. You're going to get raw and real in chats like this, and you always get raw and real with my book reviews and my wrap-ups. You'll notice that 99% of the time I'm looking right at you guys. I'm not looking down. Yeah, I may grab my phone or a different tablet, which, I always have, these different things, but pretty much you're going to get the real raw Robin, and hopefully you'll come back for more. So let me know if this video is helpful to you in any way, and if you want more of these honest discussions, especially like when I'm dealing with stuff like I am now, the insomnia and the night terrors and the sadness. If I can help you in any way, let me tell you this. Do what brings you joy. Talk to somebody that you can trust, and take care of yourself. Whether if it's medication, like in my case, thyroid medication, or if it's mental health medication or heart medication or whatever, just take care of yourself. And above all things, trust in God. Do not lean upon your own understanding. Just have faith. Just have faith. So that's all I want to say. I know it's long, and I think it's going to be my third video of the day, because I had a book review video, and then I have this one, and I have the wrap up. But I just wanted to talk to you guys. So I don't know if I've said anything worthwhile. I know I've run long, but thank you for watching. Bye-bye.